Rip through the clouds, faster, catch us from falling close to the ground. Perish or try to fight it, parachute now. Last chance, the final moment, parachute now and deliver us to the ground. I wanna pull the string.
Welcome everyone to the Chris Perish podcast. As you can see, there's a brand new look to the whole ordeal. And if by chance you are watching, we are on X. That is a nice thing. We are streaming through the X account. So if you are on the artist formerly known as Twitter, go check out at Chris Perish right now, and you can check out the Chris Perish podcast. Before we get to anything, I do want to let everybody know that there is going to be an update to that calendar that you saw. What we did see, and that's something we go through all the time with when we use music on streams, is sometimes what we think could be copyright music, the artist will change their minds and decide to license it for themselves, which is just fine. All the power to them. We appreciate the usage of that. So we will see a change in the calendar as we are not allowed to use that song moving forward. Today was an exception. Then we also want to give a shout out to both rogueenergy.com. As you can see in that bottom right there, when you go to rogueenergy.com, you can get your fill of all the beautiful flavors. My choice for today is a strawberry kiwi. It's amazing. It tastes so good. Thing is, though, I don't want you to pay a fortune. I want you to save some money at checkout. And that's why I ask you use my promo code PERISH, PERISH, to save 10% off that order and off all orders. Now, you cannot stack promo codes. So I'm going to be honest with you. I would love it if you use my promo. But if there was a promo that helped you save more money, I want you to do that because I care about that. Also, give a shout out to Turnbuckle Studios, where, as you saw in that calendar before, you can see a plethora of all the great programming. But below that logo, you see the TAP, the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And that's right down below, you can go check out affiliationprogram.my.canva.site. And you could also be, just like the Chris Perish podcast, be a part of that Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. Now, there is an amazing amount of stuff to talk about. We saw an amazing episode of Bad Blood yesterday. Just absolutely amazing. But we'll get to that shortly. Because earlier in the week, we saw a debut on NXT on the CW, and we got ourselves a brand new NXT champion in the form of whoop that Trick Williams. Absolutely awesome. I think he is on fire. If you heard his entrance from that crowd, understand that is the face of NXT right now. There is no one touching him on that spot. He is the right man to carry the torch going into the CW for NXT. Now, where do I think that leaves Mr. Ego Ethan Page? I think it leaves him right there as that potential number one villain for that title. I don't think they're done by any means. So I'm very intrigued to see what Trick Williams versus Ethan Page next have in common, because if you I believe they're 1-1 now, so they have to have that rubber match. And I think what an amazing feud that they have already started, and I don't think we've even scratched the surface with them. So it's going to be very interesting to see. We've seen a lot of just on that episode, we saw a lot of people come out. We saw Kalani Jordan look really strong in just a segment where she brought out the women's tag team champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and I thought that was amazing, just showing just how powerful she is against the Fallon Henley and the JC Jane. I always forget who the third one is. So in the comments, if you can, let me know who the third one is. I believe the group Fatal Influence. We'll just say that right now, just to kind of keep me safe. But yeah, I thought that was really good there. As we have Astra Pizarro coming in. Hello, how are you doing? How is your Sunday morning going in? Mine is Yasmin next. Thank you. Yeah. I don't sleep much anymore. So I'm dumb. So that's just the honesty in me. But no, I thought that was great because I thought I'm very intrigued with what they're going to do with Kalani Jordan moving forward. I really kind of want to see Fallon Henley kind of up there as that. But I'm also loving the her just in a tag team too. I think she is someone that we should be keeping our eye out on, just inside the WWE, especially with NXT right now. I love the transition she's had going from the Brooks and Briggs team to now the Fatal Influence. I think it's a great transition, very similar to how I feel about Roxanne turning heel as well, and we'll get to Roxanne very shortly. As I think with Kalani Jordan, I think this is a very intriguing inaugural champion for that women's North American title, and I'm really curious to see kind of how they build Kalani Jordan, because she's been there for a hot minute. She's just finding herself in my eyes, and I'm very intrigued just watching the character grow, just watching her mature inside the ring. So I think it's going to be very fun just watching who that first real challenge for her championship is, and it could be one of either Jasmine Nix, it could be one of JC Janes or Fallon Henley, but whoever it is, I do think that's going to eventually be the next champion, but I do hope they give Kalani Jordan some time, because I do think she is starting to finally pop out on her own as that character, as that performer, and it's going to be very intriguing to watch, very interesting to watch. Another thing I like too is that just the Oba Femi segment, we transitioned from one North American championship to another. I really enjoyed watching Oba Femi and Tony D'Angelo kind of just, I don't know, there's something about that feud just that just works with me. So I do think I'm at a crossroads where I do think it's time for Oba Femi to drop that North American championship. However, I just don't know if I want to see him lose yet. There's something about him. He has started a swagger, and I think it was No Mercy where he came out, started doing the little walk. But when he ripped off the Velcro on the championship, I don't know if I can dislike him anymore, because A, that was the first time I've ever seen that happen, but B, it was also fantastic. But it's been put back on, so I don't understand why he rips it off and they're just like, no, we're just going to put it back on. It's like, the guy's huge. He doesn't just, get those expandable snaps for him. I see that on the website for the larger guys. So just do that. Snaps, no Velcro, please. I understand the Velcro. Velcro's for kids. But yeah, so I'm very conflicted on what they're going to do. I do want to see Tony D'Angelo with the championship. I think he has earned so much stripes since that very first episode of that 2.0. And I do really want to see him as a champion, not a tag champ, but as a champion, like an individual champion. So it's going to be very, very, I've been using the word intriguing and interesting a lot, but it very much is when it comes to that match, because I like the Rocky kind of feel for Tony D'Angelo, but I also love just a straight up underdog feel you get for Tony D'Angelo, which is, it's organic, it's fresh, it feels real, and because of that, it works. moving on to what I thought was the biggest upset, and that was Roxanne Perez defeating Julia for that NXT Women's Championship. I was stunned. I thought Julia was winning that title. But I'm very happy Roxanne pulled it out, and I'm happy that they went the way they did with Cora Jade interfering, helping out Roxanne Perez. You know, that was the direction they were going before Cora got hurt. So now that they're kind of continuing with this, and you had in a video promo just before that episode of NXT on CW, which very much felt like a takeover, a PLE version of a show. But you got to remember, that's just the way that TV for NXT is going to be now. We saw Stephanie Vakir come on and basically saying she had next during the Julia and Roxanne Perez segment. So if she was to have the winner, now you've allowed Cora Jade and Julia to kind of transform kind of away and have just a single feud away from the title. Or maybe you do a 4-way, maybe you do a 4 corners match, as we have Chris Best coming in saying, "Howdy, Mr. Perish." Well, don't have a cowboy hat, but good day, cowboy. I don't want to make fun of you, but like it's just something I always funny because not a lot of people say howdy anymore, but I love it. It's such an underrated way of saying hi that I just appreciate it so much. So thank you, Best. Much love to you, man. But yeah, no. So we're kind of looking at that dynamic now with Perez and Jade going up against Vakir and Julia. So I'm wondering if we're going to get something kind of bigger there, which maybe we see Cora Jade go after the North American Championship, and we kind of see, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was a tag match back in the 90s. It was supposed to be Owen and the Bulldog as they were the tag champs going up. The dudes with attitudes, Big Daddy Cool Diesel and Shawn Michaels. Shawn was the Intercontinental Champion and Diesel was the World Heavyweight Champion, and they did all of the titles on the line. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do something with maybe you put the North American title on Cora Jade, build to maybe something big on like a Rumble or a Stand and Deliver, and that's when you have the changing of the guard where Julia and Stephanie Vakir become the champions, and it's like a changing of the guard for, you know, what NXT in 2025 will be. I could just be fantasy booking this out of my head here, but who knows? I mean, I'm very intrigued. Like, I'd be very intrigued about this. So I know it was supposed to be Owen, all right? I know. We're not talking about what if here. But if you think I'm going to go and not mention Owen Hart, you know, there you have, all right? I am going to always make sure we talk about Owen Hart, even if it's just Owen Hart, and then that's it. Stop distracting me, Best. Howdy dare you? But yeah, no, all in all, I thought, you know, the CW and NXT, I mean, that show was amazing, start to finish. It really was. And if that's the catalyst of what to expect for NXT, then NXT is in great hands. And we didn't really scratch the surface too much with TNA inclusion, although we did get Zachary Wentz versus Wesley in just the rematch. And now they're one apiece. Wesley did walk away with that win. So it's going to be very, very surprising to see how they end. Do they even end it in WWE? Do they do something in the realm of TNA? I'd be very, very shocked if they did, but there's part of me that kind of wants some TNA television involvement on that side too. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, and then we also have the. I just love it too because we have. Not only did we get like just a home run episode, but we also got like moving forward, like, oh, this is what to expect in St. Louis. I think Javion Evans is taking on Randy Orton. We got Obafemi, Tony D'Angelo, plus like a lot more. So it's going to be a very, very fun and exciting show on Tuesday. That's for sure. And then you can check out Astrid with taking over on Tuesday to cover more of that NXT. And then what I think is very, very fun was last night. Last night. Obviously, Chris Best hosting the PLE Patrol. I was celebrating the first birthday of my beautiful boy. So happy birthday. Happy birthday, Memphis. You know Daddy loves you. But I did get to watch a lot of the stuff on and holy crap, was CM Punk and Drew McIntyre just that was just amazing. Just phenomenal in every sense. Everything you wanted out of a finale of a match, that is what they gave you. Every little detail they had within their story came to fruition in that cell, whether it was the beads of the bracelet, whether it was how do we make the go to sleep even bigger so we'd wrap a steel chain around the knee. They sure did. In fact, the rumor came out where Drew McIntyre received 16 or 18 staples in his head. One of the funniest moments was just him, the ref was about to give him a towel to wipe off, and he's like, "Don't wipe me off, bitch." And it was pretty funny. Just no. I mean, and I get it. I understand. I think the officials are in a tough spot there. You know, they're trying to do what they can to help just to keep their superstars safe. They're trying everything to make sure that, you know, their visibility is there. I know the crowd booed when when the official wiped off Drew the first time when he was laying down, and it was just like, okay, I get it. Atlanta, you guys are animals. I know this. But you guys got to bring them back down. Also, for the longest time, WWE was not this product. So you have to understand that, like, this is still a transition for a lot of the people there. But we're also living in a day and age where education, when it comes to safety, especially in WWE, with everything that's been going on just within the last 20 plus years, they're going to make sure they keep their town safe. So, plus, it came back. There was no shortage of blood on Drew McIntyre's face in that match. But with all that, just, you know, a beautiful story concluded. And anybody who thought CM Punk was done, wow. He proved you wrong. If you doubted what he was able to do, he proved you wrong. I don't think anybody was proven wrong by the efforts of Drew McIntyre. That guy, he is one of the best in the game right now. And then we got, which I thought was actually a really good match between Bayley and Nia Jax. I enjoyed it. I'm getting more involved in the storyline between Tiffany and Nia just as we go on. I knew Bayley was not going to walk away with the championship, but I really wanted to see just the story that took place. And I thought that's something that was a lot of fun to watch. Also, I think it's time for Bayley to kind of get into a feud away from the title before going back into it. So I still want to see her and Naomi in a feud. with Naomi turning on her, I think that's fresh. I think that's different. I want to see heel glow. I think that's different. So I'll be very curious to see kind of what they do with Bayley moving out. I do think Nia is a very powerful and dominant champion right now. I think putting the strap on her was the right move. I think she's really coming into her own. And for all the shade that she got between run 1 and run 2, proving people wrong, that's somebody that's doing a lot of that. That's coming in saying, I really thought they were going to see Naomi turn heel last night. Well, it's because they were turning someone else heel, and we'll get to that. But first, I do want to talk about, as we have Bobby Stats, Bobby Bonito coming in saying, hello, Bobby. How you doing? By the way, people, how you liking the new setup? I got lines moving around me, man. It's like making a box, but I'm not like caved in, so it's kind of cool. I don't know. I did it myself, guys. Aren't you proud of me? To be fair, if you can't use Canva, I mean that's on you. Bobby coming in saying, I'm doing good. I like the new setup. Thanks, Bobby. I got new videos too. Did that too. Same theme song as well. I mean, downstate, thank you. And 2, I own it, so I can't get copyright off that. It's fantastic. So YouTube, work harder. But yeah, no, I mean, and then we had Rhea and Liv Morgan with Dom in the shark cage, which that was nothing short of awesome. And that time where he tripped and almost fell out, tell me that didn't get you people, because I was very curious to why he was in full gear for that. I'm like, you're in a cage, dude. Why are you booted up right now? Plus, Liv got you like Nikes, man. Wear those. Show them off. Got sparkling black bling on them. Which again, like we've been talking about this on the Raw Patrol about Judgment Day going from black and purple to just black and white, and like we're seeing Dirty Dom wore black and white. His shoes were black and white. There's no purple there, although we see like some tints of purple every now and then. Am I the only one that just wants to see if Judgment Day just flat out changes it black to white? Like, are they permanently black and white? Are they doing that now? Because I keep seeing these shades of purple coming around, and I'm just like, it'd be nice if everyone kind of went away from the black and purple. Even Rhea and Damien. Just have like Judgment Day, this version be a different shade. I don't know. You get so associated to colors with wrestlers, right? So, but yeah, no, I thought Liv and Rhea was good. I'm very, very surprised that they didn't put the title back on Rhea. Like, it just, I don't think that I don't think they were going to take it off her anytime soon until she had to, let it go. So I'm kind of curious to why they haven't put it back on her yet. Like, no, don't get me wrong, Liv is doing a great job with the title, but and their story is really escalating and doing great. But now I just feel like, okay, like, is it over now? Because we have that. We saw Raquel Rodriguez come back and cost Rhea the match. So is that going to transfer us to Rhea and Raquel? So if that's the case, what's going on with Liv Morgan? Is this where we see a returning women's superstar like Charlotte or Alexa Bliss? Maybe Or do we see somebody else step up? Like Lyra Valkyria. I think that would actually be a fantastic match. Yeah, Bobby, like I'm fully agreeing with you. Like I do think that there is other plans with Rhea. Definitely Rhea and Raquel seem like that's a logical thing to do right now. So I can't be surprised why Rhea wouldn't want to beat up Raquel on Monday night. I mean, I would. If I'm trying to get my bling back and some bro comes in and says, "Yeah, you ain't getting it," I'm gonna be like, "Why?" And then I'm gonna swing. It's just logical. But yeah, and then transferring over to Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. This is a match where I don't know about you guys, but I think Damian Priest is getting booked strong, like really strong. I did not like when they had the Terror Twins versus Dom and Liv. I didn't like that ending. I was kind of a little befuddled with Damian Priest just, looking like God against everyone in the Judgment Day. Chris Best Cummins, I got to think that Rhea will now have to go through Raquel in order to get another match with Liv. That's, exactly what kind of wanted. Right now, I need some time with the Rhea and Liv. I'm glad that we have something now to kind of just put a divider in and make us want the next match before just giving it to us. So, but speaking of which, I no longer want to see Damian versus Finn. I thought Finn should have won. I honestly thought Finn should have won. I thought the help of the Judgment Day should have helped them get over that. And then you lead into another match, whether it's at Survivor Series or something, and then you can do that. I would love the blow-off match to be at the Rumble. That way they can go into the Rumble, match themselves, and that's their way of going into something different. But I don't know. Is anybody after last night wanting to see Damian Priest fight the Judgment Day anymore? Has he not shown already that he is on a different level? And here's my thing. If you want to know, okay, who does he go after? Well, I honestly would. This is why I think WWE needs to install trades between shows, because why not trade Kevin Owens for Damian Priest right now and shake it up? And we'll get to Kevin Owens. Chris Best coming in saying, I'm not sure I like the Damian versus Finn match. I really need to see Finn deliver more offense. Damian came across as super Damian. And then Bobby coming in saying, Finn Balor and JD McDonough should have focused on defending tag team championships on Raw. Yeah, and I think now that's what we're going to get. But I need to see Damian Priest away from the Judgment Day. If we want to see Finn and JD be a tag team act, then they desperately need to stay away from Damian. Who would we want to see take the titles off JD and Finn? I know I did a thing of who I saw as the next WWE champions a few weeks ago. Don't worry, I'll be doing Ring of Honor later today on this episode. So, then main event, we had Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu go up against Cody Rhodes, the WWE Universal World Champion, and then Roman Reigns, the OTC. And of course, this was the main event. God forbid if that banger of an opening match wasn't the main event, but okay, I get it now. Roman Reigns pins Solo Sikoa to win the match, but it's not because he outdueled him. No, Solo gets distracted because Jimmy Uso returns and helps out Roman Reigns. Jimmy Uso is back. Jey Uso is Intercontinental Champion. Jimmy Uso is back alongside Roman. They embrace, they hug, they're on the same page. That was the first time in a long time I've seen flat out emotional love from Roman given to Jey, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. And then after the match, they look at Cody. It's kind of like a nod of, you fought for us. We fought for you. I said I had your back. I did have your back. Bobby coming in saying, I would like to see the Creed brothers be the team that defeats Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Bobby, I would be 100% on that side. The logic shows that they're not going to go heel to heel on tag teams. You need to add a baby face in there. I know we just saw a ladder match for the tag titles on SmackDown. Maybe we see something along those lines in a multiple tag team title match on Raw. That is something I'd be very intrigued with. Creeds can come out on top on there. Then Roman and Jimmy leave the ring. We think the show's over. Then all of a sudden, Solo, the Tongans, everybody starts beating up on Cody Rhodes. Jimmy Uso deflects Roman back in the ring. They save the day. And just when you think all is good, there's now a healthy relationship there. The Rock, Dwayne, the final boss, says, I'm in Atlanta. And he is at Bad Blood. He doesn't say anything. He motions a throat cut. And then he goes 1, 2, 3. With his fingers. You didn't see it in here. So 1, 2, 3. What does that mean? Does that mean that there's only 3 people in the ring? They need a 4th? Is he telling telling Cody Rhodes, somebody that he said before he left, you and I are going to have a match? Is he reminding him that Cody Rhodes is 3 seconds away from losing his title? What does the 1, 2, 3 mean? Bobby's saying it's awesome to see Jimmy Uso back. Yeet or no yeet. I don't know what they're doing now. If Roman Reigns is babyface now, does he soften up on the yeet? That's an honest question. Chris Best is coming in saying, I'd actually be cool if the Motor City Machine Guns taking the titles, provided they don't go to SmackDown. Which, you know what? I'll say this. If we don't get a video package for the Motor City Machine Guns on Raw, you'll have your answer to where they're going to go. I do think that's as clear as we'll get. If we don't get a Motor City's Machine Gun promo tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, where it's 2 hours, by the way, Raw is back to 2 hours. Yeah, we'll get our answer that Motor City Machine Guns. If there's no video package, they'll be on SmackDown. If there's a video package for them on Raw, all bets are off. An updated one did play for them at Bad Blood. We saw a few added scenes, like the 8 Mile Road sign. I thought that was pretty cool. Either that or maybe, man, how cool would it be if they come out to an Eminem theme? Just saying. That would kind of be pretty cool. How about WrestleMania Eminem play out Motor City Machine Guns live? I mean, come on. Come on. Just think of like the amazing like collaboration you can get with like R-Truth and Eminem. Just from a rap thing. I'm not even a rap guy, but that'd be cool. So like all in all, we thought that was Bad Blood until video footage shows that after the show was done, during the press conferences, we see Cody Rhodes walk to his tour bus only to be confronted by Kevin Owens. They have a heated conversation. You can see Cody Rhodes is trying to maybe kind of like ease up on Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens had no. He did not want to hear it. And he attacked Cody Rhodes. Now, from original view, it's very much obvious that Kevin Owens turned heel, right? However, what was said, and that is something I want to know, what was said, because when you look at the actions of Kevin Owens, he normally, when he doesn't care about the person, he attacks them from behind. He attacked him face to face. Now, a lot of people are like, well, he took Jericho face to face. Nah, not really, because he kind of was like distracted with the new list. It was a cheap shot. I didn't really think this was a cheap shot. Cody was looking right at him when he threw the first shot. So that's why I asked, what was said? So I'm very, very intrigued with that aspect. I'm very much wanting to hear what Kevin Owens says next. I mean, the last couple weeks, Kevin Owens is clearly frustrated. He doesn't get a lot of opportunity to kind of explain himself. He's been interrupted, whether it's from Solo, whatever the circumstance may be. He's been interrupted. You're not actually hearing his why to him being upset. I am very, very much on pins and needles about his why. I want to hear this why. I want to hear what was said. Did Cody say something that irked him? Was Kevin Owens questioning the relationship with with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso? It's like, we've been fighting these guys for how long, and then now you're just buddy. You can kind of understand where he's coming from, right? Chris Best said, I thought it was weird, but now I get why Hunter said Cody can't make the press conference. Yeah, he got beat up. Bobby said, I could see a rematch between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Right? Now, hear me out here. Maybe we don't, I was thinking, hey, maybe Cody is going to join Team Roman in War Games, and there's Roman, Jimmy, Cody. Maybe bring back Jay to go up against, Solo's bloodline. Maybe The Rock is going to be on that team. Now I'm thinking maybe we see Solo and his bloodline go up against Roman. Maybe it's Jimmy and Jay and Sammy. Maybe not. But maybe it is. At War Games, and we get Cody versus Kevin Owens, and Cody wins, and then that's where we see Randy turn on him. And that's another factor we got to go in here. What does Randy think of this? He's been aligned with Kevin Owens. He's also friends with Cody. He's stuck in the middle now. He was playing Peacekeeper at one point. So, not only do I want to hear from Kevin Owens, I want to hear from Randy Orton. And I also want to hear from Cody Rhodes. What did he say? What was said between them? That to me is the biggest thing. So, yeah, that's something that I was very, very much thinking after watching that video. And there was multiple views from that beatdown too. So, and there's one where you're just seeing Cody Rhodes actually down. He's just stomping on him. There's one where you got the whole thing. So I do say maybe check out both that, because sometimes a viewpoint, a perspective changes, right? Like if you just see something from a different view, your perspective of the situation might be different. So I definitely recommend everyone seeing as much as they can about that, and you'll probably have different questions. I did say I'm going to I'm going to list off all the Ring of Honor champions and who I see could defeat them and become new champions. It is a thing. This is kind of the final one. I did TNA. I did WWE. in entirety, and then I did AEW. Now I'm doing Ring of Honor. If you guys want to see me do any more, let me know. So yeah, okay, let's get started. So for the women's television title, Red Velvet is the current champion. I think this is an opportunity for Serena Deeb to become the new champion there. I do think she is a great asset into the women's division in AEW. And Bobby, I'll get to that after this, if you're okay with that. So I think Serena Deeb could benefit from just helping out the younger talent on the female side. So I have her being the women's television champion for Ring of Honor. I don't see her being in any major storylines. Thank you, Bobby. I don't see her being in any major storylines on Dynamite or any of the big shows. So I think her as the women's television Ring of Honor champion makes sense. Now for the women's championship, it's simply because I just think this is what the company is going to probably do. I wouldn't want this. But I have Mercedes Moné beating Athena for the title. I mean, Athena surpassed Joe as being the longest Ring of Honor champion in Ring of Honor history. She's well over 660 days now. And I think if they made this a thing, who else wouldn't want to be a part of or to break that than Mercedes Moné? When you think about maybe just whether it's what they're doing with her, how big her character's ego is going to be, she would want that. She would want that extra title. She would want that attention as the CEO. That's money in her bank, right? So yeah, even though it's not something I would personally do, I do think that Athena's reign warrants attention, and in order to kind of solidify it and validate it, have one of their biggest female stars beat her for it, right? Then I go to a pair of Dustin Road titles. Let's start off with the 6-man tag. I had Dustin and the Von Erichs, who are the current champions. At first, I was thinking, oh, Juice and the Guns, that'd be awesome. But then I'm like, you know what? You know who I haven't really seen much of lately? The House of Black. How interesting would it be if the House of Black became the new 6-man tag champions at Ring of Honor? Something you don't see coming. It'd be different. And this allows me to do other things with Juice Robertson and the Guns. In fact, I have the Guns, Colton and Austin Gunn, defeating Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara for those tag team champions. And then I have a Juice Robertson becoming the new pure champion as he would defeat Lee Moriarty. So originally, I even had FTR as being tag champs, but I changed that, and you'll see why. But I like Juice Robertson. I think giving him a championship is great, but I also like how he handles being a champion. I like his promos. I like his aura that he has with him. He's entertaining to watch. He's very fun to watch. Bobby coming in saying, I would be interested to see Top Flight in Ring of Honor's Trios Championship. Yeah, I did. I even thought about Top Flight here and that. And here's the nice thing. I would move the titles from baby faces to heels, and then you can have Top Flight kind of be that tag team that maybe can take it off the Guns. And that's kind of, where my mind was going, right? Like, well, first, Dustin and Sam just aren't a tag team, so move it to a tag team there. I think the Guns can, hold some. Well, they can make Bullet Club Gold, the Bang Bang Gang kind of thing. Juice and Guns have titles. You can then help Jay White get a championship in AEW, which I think that would make sense too. But I think Juice, he wouldn't be the main champion, but I think he adds that dynamic to the mid card on a Ring of Honor show. We have Atlantis Jr. as a TV champ, and honestly, I'm like, okay, who do I think will have a good match with him? Who do I think could make sense? Who's not being used that much on AEW? And I'm like, okay, if he's fully healthy, why not have Roosh defeat Atlantis Jr.? And then now you're beefing up what this mid-card, this secondary mid-card title for Ring of Honor is. And now we have something to play with. Now we can have him. It's wide open to just about anyone now. And I think I like that. A strong consideration I had was Wheeler Yuta, too, to be quite honest. And for Ring of Honor champ, this one just is a match that I think we would see. I think when it comes to the Ring of Honor championship and the history, we just saw Nigel McGuinness against Bryan Danielson. Technical, right? And that was a match that kind of really helped define what the Ring of Honor Championship was. We've seen really hard, grueling battles with the Ring of Honor Championship, even if you go all the way back to Samoa Joe's original run. And then we really saw the kind of the sports entertainment kind of feel come out when CM Punk took the title from Austin Aries, who then lost to James Gibson, who kind of brought that technical thing there. Mark Briscoe will fight tooth and nail. Always, especially over that Ring of Honor championship. And I have someone who I think would make a perfect Ring of Honor champion. I said I was talking about FTR before. We've heard the stories that Cash Wheeler thought about hanging them up during his thing. I have Dax Harwood becoming the new Ring of Honor champion. And I think Dax Harwood will be an amazing Ring of Honor world champion. Let me know what you guys think. Ring of Honor champion, I have Harwood beating Briscoe. I have for the television champ, I got Roosh beating Atlantis Jr. Juice Robertson beating Lee Moriarty for the Pure title. I have the Guns becoming the new tag team champions over Dustin and Sammy Guevara. And the House of Black defeating Dustin and the Von Erichs for the 6-man. Mercedes Moné defeating Athena for the women's. And then Serena Deeb beating Red Velvet for the women's television. Bobby coming in saying nice picks. I appreciate that. Bobby, you asked an earlier question. How would you book Delta in NXT? Well, you kind of look at the dynamic there, and if you have Stephanie Vakir and Julia, and they're tied up with Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, I think Delta could, you could put her in the North American title realm. You could have her be a part of a group, have her, and maybe she goes after Fatal Influence. It all depends on, and here's the thing. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you want to see Delta as a babyface, or do you want to see Delta booked as a heel? And I think that really dictates kind of where you go. Because if she's a babyface, I think I kind of want to see her go up against either Fallon Henley or JC Jane. If she's a heel, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, Sol Ruka. Do we have Delta do some with Jordan Grace on NXT television? So I think it all depends on how she comes in, whether or not, like, what role does she play? And I think this is kind of this. I think right now you want to keep her kind of near or around the North American Championship, because you do have two people already just coming in, and they're going to be around the women's title there. Which, by the way, let's rank this. NXT got new women and men's titles, just the main titles. We didn't see any changes in the North American, and we have yet to see anything for the tag team. But I'm sure there's going to be some changes on the tag team titles. But what do we think? I mean, usually give it a rating. You know what? I'll give it a 4 out of 6. 4 beers out of the 6-pack. Yeah. Now, as you know, as you see, I'm a black and gold guy. I think it's a beautiful color combination. So I was a little bit melancholy when I saw that the gold was removed. Melancholy. Yeah. I'm bringing out the vocab today. But yeah, so I mean, I wasn't happy. It's like, we don't want to go to the Saints, the Raiders. No, we want to be like Devontae Adams. Go to Raiders, to the Saints. Come on, buddy. The water's fine in the islands. Just do it, buddy. But yeah, no, I mean, I think Bobby coming in saying a 4. No, I like the rebranding thing. You have to, though. It's a new era, new time. We're seeing WWE do it. SmackDown got a new kind of a look, new logo. Now that they're on the USA, Raw's being teased with the new logo when they're going to Netflix. So, yeah, we're going to see some changes there, and I think it makes sense too. I mean, you saw the women and men's title in NXT still have that paint splatter on it, and they're ways away from the 2.0 time. I thought they should have just gone back to the original versions of those titles without the paint splatter, but that was just me. But if you're going to change not just the color aspect, but kind of where you go, I understand. Now, just because you don't have gold in your company logo doesn't mean you shouldn't have gold on your championships. So I do hope gold is a color on the titles moving forward too. So yeah, at least keep the black and gold on the straps, baby. So yeah, that is kind of what I had. I don't know, I quickly jotted stuff down. I mean, I was kind of rushing just to get all this stuff done so we'd have a new fresh look here for the Chris Perish podcast on now that we're on X. Yeah, that's cool. So thank you to the people on X. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you share it. And then if you want, make sure you're checking out all my beautiful links, and you can find that down on the below link here on Linktree, linktr.ee/Chris Perish. You can get access to everything: my Twitch account, the X account, the Instagram account, my Facebook, my YouTube, all that beautiful stuff. And if you by chance want to email me about any inquiries, make sure that you do it at Perishute, PERISHUTE @gmail.com. And yes, down here it still says rugenergy.com, promo code Perish, 10% off, because you know, gotta get the plugs in, brother. Bobby coming in and saying you should do who would you book to hold belts in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know what, Bobby? Just for you, I'll do that next week for episode 45. How about that? Just for you, New Japan Pro Wrestling championships are going to be fantasy booked by me next week. Just in the sense of who I think is going to be the next champions. So yeah. So for that, I am going to log off. But I'm going to say thank you to everyone for jumping in. All just everyone there. And I thank you for all the people watching on X. I am going to try to get Instagram Live more as a feature player. There's just a lot of things to work out with Instagram. So just stay tuned on that. I do want to say thank you to everyone. Have a good rest of your Sunday. It's football time. It's definitely football time. And just like WWE moving to 2 hours for Raw, I don't want to compete with that powerhouse NFL. Although my Saints don't play till tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. And yes, OMD, I'm going to watch both because I'm a man. But yeah, until next week, I just want to say thank you. Please check out my next appearance tomorrow on the Raw Patrol when I run in. Hopefully, I catch more on Raw than I did on SmackDown on Friday, but we will see. So until then, have a great day. Take care of everyone. And go Saints.
Rip